From patient to practitioner and from client to coach, it is not uncommon for people who have suffered and struggled with a problem to come out the other side and be inspired to give back. And our special guest today, Angie Johnson, is no exception to that. And Angie has an incredible story to share. She taught me some things in this interview that about menopause that I had no idea of, and I'd never heard of all the people that I had talked to. Uh, I've never heard anyone share some of the insights that she has. She's going to share her personal story and what led her into early menopause, and how she came out the other side of it, and how she was able to go from patient to practitioner and become an incredible health coach. So please welcome Angie Johnson.
Hello, Dr. Shaunna.
Well, I can't wait for you to share your story. It's very profound, and meaningful. And really, at this point now, it's been a full circle moment for you from where you've come. Tell everybody, like, what led up to this? What kind of work were you doing? And what had you become a patient in the first place? And then what had you become a client? A health coach client yourself, and that led to you now becoming a health coach yourself and being an incredible practitioner.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you, Dr. Shaunna. It's a pleasure to be with you. I actually was working as a marketing and communications consultant um, for a nonprofit organization when I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. And I was living a busy lifestyle, working a lot, just a lot of activities going on with my son, my family, my community. And yeah, I got that diagnosis and it kind of slowed me down a little bit.
Mhm.
And so I went through my breast cancer treatment. And on the other side of that, it sent me into early menopause. And then after everything, after I started to go through the symptoms or started to have symptoms after my breast cancer, the hot flashes, the poor sleep, the fatigue, the brain fog, it just really kind of sat me down. It kind
Yeah.
of stopped me in my tracks. And so I spoke with my oncologist about looking into hormone replacement therapy, and he
Mm.
suggested that I did not get that because of my breast cancer history. This was about 5 years after that.
Hmm.
And I just, the weight gain, it was just a lot of symptoms that I was going through. And so when he told me not to pursue the hormone replacement therapy, I looked into other ways that I could naturally treat myself. So
Hmm.
I changed my diet, I started exercising more, really focusing on things that I could do to kind of holistically heal myself and feel better to get back to the person that I was prior to that, losing the weight. And so that's kind of where I went in terms of healing. And then
Hmm.
I started working with a health coach.
Hmm.
And so she put me on a nutrition regimen. We talked again about the hormone replacement therapy, but again, decided against that. But just working with her helped me to feel better, to lose the weight, reduce the brain fog. I ended up losing 20 pounds and
Wow.
focusing on nutrition. And yeah, and so that's what kind of inspired me to become a health coach myself.
Yeah. What led you to, because most people don't know of health coaches at all. What inspired you to reach out to this particular health coach, uh, for help?
Well, she was actually a friend of mine, and she was also a medical doctor. And so, as we were talking in just regular conversations, having lunch together, our sons came up together. They're the same age. And so, again, she's a friend of mine. And so, I thought she was just working in her practice as a medical doctor. And then she was telling me that she was doing health coaching. So I'm like, well, tell me more about that. And when she
Yeah.
told me what she was doing, I'm like, that sounds awesome. I think I'd like to work with you. And so, that's how I started working with a health coach.
I love it. And very much like me, like we're a rare breed that we're a medical doctor and a health coach and people who come from a medical background, you did not, but like that was like always the thing. We really want people to be healthy, but then kind of your hands get tied. And so that's one of the benefits of health coaching. So you're working with her, you lost 20 pounds. When was the last time you'd been 20 pounds lighter?
Actually, before I had my son, and my son is 19 now, so it's been at least 20 years since I
Yeah.
had been at this weight.
Yeah. And so
So,
like, so being really that would you say the healthiest you've been at in 20 years?
absolutely.
And so that's really something. And so to be able to do that through lifestyle, through the stuff that is the world of a health coach. This is the potential that all of the health coaches have is to help people like really reverse the clock, like get back your health, even if you had a breast cancer diagnosis or something that kind of was, and in a sense that served as a great wake up call, because your job before that was high stress,
Mm-hmm.
and is that what you feel like sort of might have, well, who we never know really, but there seems to be a lot of really stressful thing, breast cancer, and then sometimes people go back to the stressful thing, but for most people it's like, no, no, I'm not gonna continue to go in that path. I'm gonna make some changes here, like for the foreseeable future is,
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I did. I did not go back to that that stressful job, that
yeah.
stressful lifestyle. That was a wake-up call for me. And I made the changes, the lifestyle changes that I needed to make and to see the results that I wanted to see. So,
Okay, and so then, okay, so now we understand how you got those results. Now you've seen it in action firsthand yourself. You know how to do it. This is your new way of living. The role of stress, the role of nutrition and lifestyle, profound role, life-saving, life-changing role.
hmm
Bridge the gap between that moment and then what led you to actually become a health coach yourself and help others and go from, client to coach or patient then to practitioner. What inspired that?
So I actually am president of a women's business organization. And as you know, speaking with a lot of women business owners, professional women, we would always have conversations when we were networking, when we were having lunch, and we would talk about how we're feeling, not how we're doing, but how we're feeling. And it would always come back, the conversation would always come back to, oh, I'm feeling tired and I just don't have the energy. And oh, I'm not sleeping well. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. It's, and so that's when I was like, oh yeah, I felt the same way. And when I started to make these lifestyle changes, these are the results that I received. And so as I started talking to more and more women, I realized that as a health coach, I could help them achieve the same results that I achieved.
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of hard not to. Once you know, like the secret, or you're on the other side, you've
hmm
unlocked this. How can you see other people suffering like that and not want to help them? And so, who are
hmm
you passionate about helping now? Who is it that like is asking for your help and that you just love helping?
Yeah, I just love helping busy professional women. Because of my history of breast cancer, I do work with women who have experienced that as well, who may have had a history of breast cancer in their family or themselves and dealing with the hormone issues. So that's who I'm passionate about helping.
Yeah, I love it. And so now in this new role as a health coach, um, for me, I really honestly I say it all the time, but it's like I feel like it's the best career like on the planet. But for you, and we have people who are health coaches or maybe like want to be health coaches or maybe they're health coach certified, but they don't have any clients yet. Um, and I feel like it's helpful for people who are actually doing the work, helping people, actually for real, helping people, to share like a little bit what it's like so that they, keep going on your journey because it's really worth it. So like what are your favorite parts about being a health coach?
I would say just really helping people, talking to people and learning more about them and seeing the joy that they have when they achieve those results that we talked about in our earlier sessions. That is the most meaningful for me. It's seeing the results. Empowering people too, right? To let them see that you can do this. It's not unattainable.
Yeah, and it's profound, and most people think, well, there's nothing they can do, and it's really profound, and I always feel like both from a health point of view, like for me when I was a health coach, it was one thing for me to lose weight, but it was so much more like powerful when I helped someone else. And same
Right.
thing when as I became a six-figure health coach, like that was great, but when I helped someone else do it, it's like so much more like meaningful. And so I think,
Hmm.
you might have overcome something health-wise, but then when you help someone else do it, it's just amazing. And yeah, I
It's
mean,
so
it's
rewarding.
just like, yeah, so rewarding. It's so worth it. It's like you would do it even if they didn't pay you, right? But they do, and so you can be sustainable. But yeah, I mean, it's just that level of loving what you do, which is really healthy. And so it circles back around, and it's healthy and it's fulfilling,
Hmm.
it's kind of kind of gives meaning to all the stuff that you went through before, because it's like,
Hmm.
oh, maybe this was always supposed to be that way so that
It's
I can
happened
now
for a
be
reason.
there. Yeah, and it's healing in its own right, that process. Um, Before coming to us at the Health Professional Academy, what were some things that you were struggling with your coaching practice before you came to see it? Or like what was missing or what were you looking for? Tell us a little bit about what that was like. Because along the journey, it's not obvious how to build this practice. What were some of the things that you were kind of struggling with?
Yeah, definitely. I was struggling with my niche because as women, as professionals, we want to help everyone. And
Mhm.
so I just did not know how to articulate that. I did not know how to brand myself in a way to let people know that I was available to help them and who I was going to help. I knew I just
Mhm.
wanted to help women, but you helped me working with Professional Health Coaching Academy, really helped me to kind of fine tune that.
Yeah, and you know what's so and people listening to this would be like, did you hear her story? Duh, that's who should be helping. But I will tell you over and over and over, like not one person ever had their niche nailed down becoming before coming to the Health Professional Academy. And it's not like we are like, okay, you're going to pick from a catalog your niche. No, I always say it's like Michelangelo's David. Like he always said that David was already in there. They just had to chip away the excess. And so we go through that story gold mining process of like, and at the end, I'll direct, if anyone's listening and you're a health coach, I'll direct you to a video where I can walk you through that process. But it's about like looking at extracting the genius. Who are those people that you're naturally called to help? What are your meaningful experiences? What do you got a track record in? Because we don't want to be the blind leading the blind. And it's so much more soul satisfying when you deliver excellent results. And so that's helpful if you know what you're doing, and if you're going to be doing a lot of it, or
Hmm.
a lot, if you're going to make this as the thing that you mainly do, let's make sure we like working with these people and helping these people. And then that's where the satisfaction comes from. And you can also get a glimpse into your niche here in the Six Figure Health Coach. So I'll put a link if you guys don't have that book yet. You'll be able to get a free copy. And also put a link to something that we're doing now. There's small group trainings. They're just customized, 5 people at a time. And we can kind of talk through some of those niche things, customize that to you. Those spots get filled fast, obviously. But if there's a link there and you see it, grab it. You can do that. All right. So back to you, Angie. As far as when you're helping these women with perimenopause, and this is some of the things that you've taught me a few things, and I thought I knew a few things about this. Uh, what are some of the myths that you see that women are struggling with um, when it comes to perimenopause and struggling with all of those things?
So one of the myths is that it's a one size fits all type situation. It's menopause, it's going to last a few years and you'll get on the other side of it. But what I found in working with my clients and the research I've done is that menopause looks different for women in different demographics. it tends to last longer, symptoms last longer for African American and Hispanic women versus Asian American women and Caucasian women. In the case of Asian American women, they tend to deal more with the muscle and bone loss and struggle with osteoporosis and things like that. And so it's not a one size fits all. That is a myth. That is not true. Care is different for each and every woman. So you just have to know your body and work with your caregivers, your medical team to kind of find the best solution for you. And you don't
Well,
have to suffer in silence.
yeah, and I think that's where someone like you, comes in, and so that customization, so that part was news to me, and like you were like, white women it might be like 6 years, and for African American it
Hmm.
might be 10 years, and like
Hmm.
I never knew that before, and I didn't know there was studies. The other thing that I love is you bring your project managing background, like your professional corporate background to this. You do your research, you know about the study and about hormone replacement, and that was outdated, and it was like we've talked and she's like
Hmm.
this,
Hmm.
but there was a flaw with this study, and so on, and like you're a brilliant woman, and you can bring that expertise, and really the project we're managing here is this woman's health. And like it's like how can
Absolutely.
we be the architect of putting those pieces in place, but it's got to be customized job because everybody is unique and different, and so I love that. And then also you're right, like so many women, like if they go to the doctor they're like, well, what do you expect, you're whatever 47, you're 50,
Right.
ride it out, like, or ride it out, like just deal with it, like, oh yes, this is menopause, next. Like, wait, what? And so, that is what the story that a lot of people are getting, and then they don't know where to get answers, and they're like, maybe it's hormone replacement, maybe that's what I got to do. And who knows, maybe the search for that, like you were searching, leads you to a health
Hmm.
coach.
Right.
And so like, oh wait, can I improve my hormones naturally? Yes, you can. And like you're
Yeah.
showing them that, and then but the customization. And you were even talking about how people don't really appreciate like well, obviously you said like, avoid the junk food and the really
Right. The
processed food.
processed
I mean,
foods.
like
Hmm.
everybody's heard that.
Hmm.
But really like not only like what not to eat, but what to eat, what to
Hmm.
include that could help. And what were some of the things that you would, and again, it'll be customized. So if somebody has an allergy or, for whatever reason doesn't eat those things, that's fair. But some of the things that have helped people navigate this time.
Yeah, so absolutely, nutrition is everything. Food is medicine, I believe, and that's what I talk to my clients about. And nutrition, obviously, leafy greens are huge. Getting that in your body, as well as omega-3 fatty acids. And I have an acronym that I like to use. It's SMASH. It's S is for salmon, M is for mackerel, A is for anchovies, S is for sardines, and the H is for herring. And because omega-3s are so important to our, nutrients to get into our bodies, as well as hydration, that's very important. So I like to spend a lot of time on nutrition with my clients because
Yeah.
that really helps with so many things, with your anxiety. Some women may be suffering from anxiety, depression, and again, the phytoestrogens, the omega-3s help with that. So there
Yeah.
are natural things that you can do to kind of alleviate these symptoms, along with movement, um, sleep, focusing on sleep and reducing stress.
Yeah, and I like, the particular demographic that you're working with are women who are on the go. Like they got lots going on. They're busy
Yeah.
at work. They're busy. They're in the sandwich generation. They got aging parents. They got kids. Like they got it all going on. And so for them to be able to do that and still have the aging parents and still have the kids and still have the
Mm-hmm.
stressful job and
Mm-hmm.
like be able to navigate it. So you make it easy for them. You customize it. You find a way for them to do it regardless, because we can't just get rid of all of that. I mean, that
Right.
would be one way, but not actually realistic. So how do we manage that? And that's really where you come in, is helping them really
Mm-hmm.
install some customized, sustainable habits and plans that will work for them,
Mhm.
so that they get those great results. I think it's just I love that, and it is important, and it decreases inflammation. So not only does it help with menopause, but you're also decreasing your risk of all of those other things: diabetes, heart
Mhm.
disease, cancers, like dementia, all of those things. You're improving that aspect as well. So, yeah, super powerful. I think we were talking about. Oh, I think. Well, we'll come to it. I can't. If it matters, it matters. We'll come to it. Uh, how have you grown this whole journey of a health coach? It's very personal, it's professional, but it's also personal.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, as you're helping others and as you're becoming a health coach, how have you grown as you've stepped into this holistic entrepreneurship world of health coaching? And anything that you had say to your former self as you're heading into this journey of where you are now?
So I would have to say that I've grown by really focusing on, self-care, focusing on my health and wellness, and knowing that becoming a healthier, better person helps me to be more productive and influence my family, my
Mhm,
husband, my son, and my community. And
mhm.
so I would definitely say that to my younger self to focus on your health. Also look at health strength training when you're in your 30s. That's something that, I did not really focus on that until, I got into my 50s. And that really is important for women to start to focus on strength training. And, when I used to go to the gym in my 20s and 30s, I would always jump on the treadmill or the elliptical and, get an hour of that in and think I was doing good. But, now strength training is so important. And I would tell my younger self, focus on that.
Yeah, 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 and I think, it's one of the things, that I did do, and I'm glad that I did it, and then I was talking to my 80-year-old uncle last weekend, and, he couldn't believe how old I was, but he looked younger than his years, and I'm like, "Well," he goes, "60 must be the new 40," and I'm like, "80 must be the new 60." And so but it is, but the thing is, it depends on what we're doing ahead of it, and so, like,
Mhm.
getting it's never too late to start. Like,
Right.
your 90-year-old self is gonna wish you started lifting some weights now.
Yes.
'Cause you're
Yes.
learning like, even if you're like, it's never too old to start, and if we naturally have sarcopenia and we're losing muscle mass, um, that really affects function. We're not talking about looking good in a tank top or something. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about we're talking about function and being able to like get up off of a bed, a car seat, a toilet seat, being able to walk and not trip,
Right.
get yourself
Balance.
up and be independent and functional. And the more like muscle mass that you can like maintain, keep and maintain, um, not only does that help you keep you lean but from a functional perspective. And I don't know this to be true, but it's just personal experience. I really feel like there's a little bit of muscle memory because when I used to lift weights in my 20s and 30s,
Hmm.
kind of before kids and things like that, um the area there was parts of my body that I like to exercise and parts that I didn't, and the areas that I did, they come back fast. It's like
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
so
That's
easy.
powerful.
It's really powerful and it's a lot easier. So it's never too late to start. And that first week is a little rough. Not, but the second week is so easy. Like it doesn't
Hmm.
take long. Like it's not like you have to like grind it out for years before it feels better. You start to kind of get to you see results pretty quickly
Immediately. You
actually.
really do. You
Like you
really
kind of do
do.
some immediate once you get like a layer of fat off there, but you will generally notice like a difference. Might not be permanent there, but you will notice a difference, and that's encouraging and inspiring. So I
It
think that
is.
I've not heard anyone say, I would say lift weights earlier, and but I think that's great advice for everybody, and
Hmm.
regardless of how old you are,
Never too late
good
to
idea.
start.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's great because it does it does affect your mental clarity, and it does affect your functional, and it does affect your hormonal balance. And
Absolutely.
we did a little subject matter expert panel at one of our quarterly virtual retreats with health coaches, and we were talking about menopause, and we had a sports medicine doc and so on and so on.
Mhm.
And that was universal. Like all of them were saying, adding that in. So yeah, that's great advice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's see this in practice. So give us some examples when of a client or two that has come to you maybe for one thing, whatever they initially came to you for, and then because of the way that you work with them, we know there's a ripple effect that happens beyond that. Share an example or two of what that looks like, where they come to you for this, but what they get is so much better than it's a way for you to over deliver, under promise, over deliver. Share a couple of examples.
Sure. So one of my clients actually came to me because she wanted to lose weight. Her cholesterol was a little high and her energy was low. So really, she wanted to focus on weight loss. So through the lifestyle changes that we went through, changing her diet, focusing on the strength training and getting movement in every day, making sure she was hydrated, focusing on her sleep, she was able to lose the weight. She lost 10 pounds and her cholesterol was lowered, and she went to her doctor as a follow-up. She had got some lab works done before we started and after we finished our program together. And her cholesterol was down and she was super excited. Her doctor asked her what she was doing, and she told her about us working together and what she was doing. Her doctor gave her the thumbs up and said, "Well, keep it up. You're doing a great job." So that was super exciting.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
those last 10 pounds can be stubborn. Like people can be trying for years and they can be
mhm.
meaningful. Like, they can, you know, uh, they're back, they feel like their old self again. They get back into
Yeah.
clothes they wanted, their favorite clothes and stuff and
Yeah,
so on. Yeah.
yeah, it's so funny because she did text me and she said she had bought some jeans before, but she wasn't able to get into them. But now she's able to get into those jeans, and you could just hear, the energy in her voice. And when you achieve a goal like that, it really helps you to feel like, okay, I can do this and I can do something else. So
Yeah.
that was really positive. And then I had another client who also came to me. To focus on weight loss. And she was able to lose weight, not only lose weight, but she actually got her husband and her son involved in her lifestyle habit changes. And her son started walking with her. Her husband lost weight because what she was cooking for herself. Of course, her
Yeah.
husband and her son were eating, so her husband lost weight as well. And so she was super happy about that because what she was doing was affecting her whole family. And so that was really a good story.
Yeah, and it really does ripple out to everyone and to like, to be able to walk with your kids. I love walking with my kids, and it's improves the relationships. You can
Hmm.
and so yeah, the effects just going and yeah, men often will lose weight easier. And
Exactly.
that, but it's not like their health deteriorated. Okay, she got healthy,
Hmm.
but her family suffered. No, no, they got healthier too. And so it's the work
Hmm.
you're doing is so profound. It affects far more than your index patient, if you will, your index client. And it's yeah, truly a blessing and like a phenomenal full circle journey from, patient to practitioner. And I love that. If people are wondering, man, I want to talk to this woman. She might be able to customize this because I've been following somebody else's plan and I don't think it's customized to me. And I'm struggling with this and I haven't been able to find something that works. How can they reach out to you, ask you questions, connect with you?
Yeah, so they can reach out to me at my website. It's hercoachangie.com. And my email address is Angie@hercoachangie.com. So they can reach out to me that way.
Awesome. Well, and leave comments below on what resonated with you, what was your favorite part, and if you're a health coach thinking I want to figure out my niche, so that because this seems like a perfect fit, I can't imagine Angie doing anything else actually. And so if you want like that for you, if you're struggling to find that out, check out this next video on how to find your purpose-driven expert niche. And with that, have a fantastic week. And of course, be good for you.